Frederick the Elephant Toddler. Frederick the Elephant Toddler was left home alone for the first time ever. He lived with his parents in the elephant's forest. Frederick was a very nosy young elephant. He opened the door slowly and a bit hesitatingly. He went out the door. Proudly carrying his trunk, he went on a walk through the elephant's forest. At every step he would meet other elephants who went for a walk in the forest. "Good day, Frederick," he was greeted by the elephants he would meet. "Good day," answered Frederick, raising his trunk. "Are you going for a little walk?" asked his uncle. "Yes, I am," answered Frederick. "Are you well, Frederick?" asked one of his aunties. "Yes, auntie, I'm very well indeed," answered Frederick. Frederick went further and further away from his house. He didn't even realize that he was already past the elephant's forest and that he had reached an unfamiliar forest. In this forest he met a lion. Frederick had never seen a lion before. "Good day," said Frederick. "My name is Frederick, and who are you?" The lion didn't answer. He just started roaring as loud as he could. His roar was so loud that the trees started to shake. "What's going on here?" asked the startled Frederick. "Can't you talk?" Surprised, the lion asked. "Have you no fear of me at all?" "Fear? What's fear?" asked Frederick. "Fear is a feeling that comes when one sees a lion and starts to tremble," the lion replied. "I only tremble when I'm cold," said Frederick. "You are very brave," the lion said. "Brave? What does brave mean?" asked Frederick. "Brave means not to tremble when we see a lion," the lion said. "Until now, all those who saw me were scared and ran away. You, Frederick, were the only one who was not frightened." "This isn't so good for you," said Frederick. "It means that you're always alone." The lion agreed. Frederick was absolutely right. Indeed, he felt that he was very, very lonely. "Come with me," said Frederick. There, in the middle of the forest, they met a magician who was wearing a huge hat. The magician was sitting under a tree doing magic tricks. He was turning flowers into balloons and balloons into flowers. He was smiling, very content with himself. One could tell that doing magic was a lot of fun for him. "Why is he doing this?" Frederick asked himself. Almost 100 balloons were gently floating above the forest. Every balloon was bigger than a tree and had unbelievably beautiful colours. The balloons looked like a dancing rainbow. The magician saw that Frederick was staring at him and asked, "Don't you like my balloons?" "Oh yes, I must admit that I do," said Frederick. All of a sudden the lion emerged from behind a tree and started to roar the way he always did. The lion roared so loudly that one of the balloons burst. The magician started to shake and tremble with fear. "Don't be afraid," said Frederick. "The lion is my friend, and he will not harm you or anyone else." But the magician continued to tremble. "Could you please also tell him that you don't harm anyone?" Frederick asked the lion. "Frederick is right," the lion said. "I just roar for my own pleasure. I like to roar just as you like to do magic. And I was very lonely until I met Frederick." Thereafter, the magician didn't fear the lion any more. "I would like to be your friend," the magician told the lion. "Anyone who is the lion's friend is also my friend," said Frederick. The three friends started walking, and walking in a threesome was more fun than walking as a pair. And so they walked into the forest, and they went deeper and deeper. Frederick was walking in front, followed by the lion, and the magician was the last in their line. At some stage, the magician took off his hat, and he pulled a few rabbits out of it. The lion was very surprised. He was so surprised that he started roaring. This time he roared so hard that the rabbits were startled. They jumped out of the hat and ran into the forest. "My friend," said Frederick, "can't you control yourself a little bit?" "Yes, I can," said the lion. "Look, I'm done roaring." The next time, when the magician pulled a rabbit out of the hat, the lion needed much self-control not to start roaring. He was as quiet as a mouse. He was so quiet that the rabbit was not afraid of him at all. And the one that does not know fear has no reason to run away. The rabbit was also happily jumping behind his 3 friends. Now there were 4, and walking in a foursome was even more fun than in a threesome. "Hey, Long Ears, now you are also our friend," said the other 3 friends. "You don't have to be afraid of the lion when he's roaring. He's only doing it for fun," said the magician. "That's very true," said the lion. "That's me. It's my nature." And to convince the rabbit that it was true, he was going to roar then and there, but Frederick noticed it in time, and when the lion was about to open his mouth, he told him off. And the lion promised to be quiet so as not to scare his friends. And thus these friends were walking and walking through the unknown forest. "Where are we headed?" the little rabbit wanted to know. "That's a very good question," said the magician, and he asked the lion. In turn, the lion asked Frederick. "Frederick, where are we headed?" And Frederick also didn't quite know the answer to this question. But since he was at the head of their line, and he had to decide, he said to his friends, "Let's go back to the elephant's forest. I know that forest, that's my home, and I invite you all to my place." This idea wasn't half bad, because his mum and dad were already worried about him. After Frederick and his friends walked a long, long time, they finally got back to the elephant's forest. His mum and dad were very happy to see that Frederick was back home. "Where have you been?" they asked Frederick. "I've been very far away," answered Frederick, "and look, here are my new friends." In the afternoon they had a very big party to which all the elephants from the elephant's forest were invited. Frederick's father played the accordion, while the lion was blowing the bass tuba, and the rabbit was pinching the strings of the contrabass. Frederick was hitting the drums, and all the other guests were dancing to the music. The only one who wasn't dancing was the magician. He was standing in the middle of the dancing crowd and was busy doing his magic tricks and letting thousands of balloons out of his enormous hat. The balloons were very beautiful, and the party was all the merrier with them.